Hi, I'm Liz Ginis, Communications and Marketing Director at Regional Development Australia, Sydney. Today, on our first podcast for 2026, we motor up the freeway to speak with Kate O'Mara, CEO and Director of RDA Hunter.
The Hunter region, I guess, is about 160 kilometres north of Sydney CBD. It's quite a large region, we think it is, but compared to some others in New South Wales, maybe not quite as big geographically. I suppose we're fairly big in other ways, though. A population of about 710,000 across 9 LGAs. 55% of that population lives in the Lower Hunter. So that's the LGAs of Lake Macquarie, Newcastle, Port Stephens, Maitland and Cessnock. We've got quite a diverse geography here, as well as a fairly big and diverse industrial capability. So according to most sources, we're Australia's largest regional economy, second only to the Pilbara, according to some sources. So about $74 billion. We've got a large industry base that's underpinned by the mining sector locally. We're a centre for energy generation, and at the moment, of course, we've got a keen focus on renewables. We're a large manufacturing area, so not as big as we used to be when we built ships and made steel, but we still employ about 17,000 people in manufacturing in the region. Defence is a key economic driver, so we're a base for the F-35 fleet. So there's a lot of sustainment, maintenance through our defence prime contractors based in Williamtown. Agriculture's a big sector in the region, so we export cattle, milk, poultry. We're also known for equine, so 80% of Australia's stud horses are exported from the Hunter. We've also got strong capability in equine research and facilities related to that, and viticulture, which everybody I think knows our region for. It's a big area, and back to the diversity of the landscape. So we're a coastal region, but we've also got the largest saltwater lake in Australia. We've got national parks. Barrington National Park is based in our Dungog Shire, and then we go about 200 kilometres northwest up into the Upper Hunter. So Muswellbrook, Singleton, those kind of areas.
With RDA Hunter, how do you spread yourself across that vast range of industries and area?
That's a very good question, and it's one that the board thinks about fairly regularly. There's a lot of organisations in our region, so we're very lucky to have a lot of boots on the ground representing government, both state and federal. So we're lucky from that perspective. We've got very active regional organisations and business representative bodies. So yes, there's a lot happening, and I think for our board, it's really trying to understand where we fit and where we can add the most value. So the way that we've chosen to do that, I guess, is to prioritise what we are going to lead and support in the region. So I've got 3 priority areas: regional intelligence and local collaboration, economic diversification for the region, which is really what every region in Australia is trying to do, and skilled homegrown workforce. So we've got, specific activities that happen under those priority areas. And again, back to leading and supporting in some areas, depending on our expertise.
You talked about skilled workforce. That takes me to one of the programs that RDA instigated and drives, and that's the ME program. I'd love to dive into what that means for local school students, local industries.
Yeah, sure. So that's our longest running flagship project, I guess, if you want to call it that. It's been running since 2009. And the idea of that project is to encourage our local school students to study STEM subjects at school, so that they will then consider studying those subjects after school and consider career pathways into our local defence industry. So, going back to defence being an important sector in the region, the projects that are happening in our local defence sector are long-term projects up to 70 years. So there's a need for a pipeline of workforce, and we need to start young to encourage our students to understand that there are opportunities in that sector, what they are and how they need to prepare to get those jobs. So the project it really gets inside schools and puts school students together with defence industry so that they understand the application of the STEM subjects that they're learning at school, and what the jobs at the end of that study could look like. So yeah, we've got about 35 partner schools at the moment, and about 20 industry partners that we work directly with. But over the 16 years of the program, we've worked with about 90,000 students, and we're just going through a process of understanding the impact of that work. So we've got some nice stats to show that we're progressing pretty well compared with the New South Wales state averages. We're lucky here to have the Defence Prime Contractors based in the region. And they're very proactive in making sure that they've got a pool of people that they can draw on, for a long period of time. So yes, we work with BAE Systems, who is a foundation partner. We've worked with them for the 16 years, Lockheed Martin Australia, Boeing Defence Australia. We've got a new entry in our defence sector, so Kongsberg, Defence Australia. So yes, we're really working with international companies who have recognised that we can contribute to the workforce.
You go into schools and give equipment, and there's also open days and hands-on opportunities for the students. Is that how it works?
Yes. So we go into schools, we work with teachers, we help them kind of contextualise the technical side of the curriculum so that the students can understand what they're going to actually do with the skills that they're learning. We take students into the workplaces, into defence workplaces, and show them what the opportunities look like, what their actual jobs look like. We do innovation and entrepreneur development type activities so that the students that might have an idea for a defence solution to a defence problem, we teach them how to develop that and get that to a commercial product. So there's all sorts of activities that we do. We've also got to focus on diversifying the group of people that are looking at those jobs. So particular focus on females, getting them to understand that there's plenty of opportunities in STEM for them locally. Because sometimes it's not a career path that they would consider.
The Hunter, as you mentioned earlier, is certainly known for its wine, mining for sure, as well. An industry that perhaps people who don't know the region very well would be MedTech, and I believe that RDA Hunter has a lot of skin in the game when it comes to that particular area.
Yeah, we do. So, and interestingly, I didn't mention it in my earlier comments, but health and social assistance is the largest employer in our region, so close to 70,000 people. So there's a lot of opportunity in that sector. And in about 2020, we got a group of companies together that we knew were working generally in the health and medtech space, but we weren't sure what the opportunities for growth in that sector was. So we knew that there were health delivery jobs, but we just didn't know what those peripheral sort of opportunities were. So we got a group of companies together, about 12, and just had a conversation. Really, it was just to, understand and speak to them about priorities, barriers, and opportunities for growth. So, that meeting, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of motivation to work together to understand how they could become more involved in the health sector. From that initial meeting, we saw a role for ourselves as a bit of an independent coordinator of the sector, and started taking action to pull people together to understand those opportunities and to help people progress towards them. Yes, so you skip forward 5 years, we've got about 110 companies and about 225 people that are part of an informal community that we coordinate to really, work together and collaborate and to solve problems locally. So that's our overarching aim, I suppose, is to work with our local LHD, with our Medical Research Institute, with the University of Newcastle, to draw people together, to work together, to collaborate, to innovate together. We try and make the introductions and clear the path so that they can have the conversations they need to make those collaborations progress towards a commercial outcome. For us, it's really a bit of an economic diversification project as well. So what we see is we've got a lot of change happening in our region at the moment because we're underpinned by traditional sectors. So we've really got to try and figure out what's going to be next for the region. So part of what we're trying to do is map the capability of our existing companies and match that with opportunities in health. So say the medical technologies sector, we've got companies who are delivering into mining and defence, but with a small pivot, they could be delivering a widget for a hospital bed, or whatever the example might be. So we're trying to facilitate that work to really grow the health and medtech sector as a new and flourishing sector in the region. We certainly have all of the skills and the right people. What we need are those opportunities. So, and that's what we're really working hard on now.
Kate, we've covered two significant projects in the Hunter and in terms of RDA. Is there anything else you would really like people to know?
There's another project that we're working on, and we're doing that in partnership with RDA Arana. So we're working on the Golden Highway corridor. There is a big change happening in the energy sector at the moment, and there's a lot of equipment coming in through our port. So we have a very large port at the moment. It's the largest coal export port in the world, but it is diversifying, and there's renewable energy equipment is coming in through there. So the wind turbines will come in through the port and need to get their way up to the RES areas, so the renewable energy zone areas. Arana is the first cab off the rank there, and work's underway. So we're working with the team in Arana to make sure that those turbines can physically get to where they've got to go. So we're working with the Minister for Transport to support the work that she's doing to ensure that the infrastructure is at the level that it needs to be. So that's an exciting one for us.